Background of Lost Spring. Anees Jung's book Lost Spring: Stories of Stolen Childhood was published in 2005. It focuses on the children from deprived backgrounds. She is noted for her lively and vivid descriptions. She analyzes the grinding poverty and traditions which condemn these children to a life of exploitation. Explanation of the chapter. The first story is Sometimes I Find a Rupee in the Garbage. This is about the author's encounter with a rag-picker boy whose name is Sahib-e-Alam. He visits the nearby garbage dump every morning looking for valuables in the garbage. The author asks him, "Why do you do this?" The boy tells her that he had left his home in Dhaka, that is Bangladesh, long ago and did not have many memories of it. His mother had told him that the storms had swept away their fields and their homes. So that is why they had come to live in the big city looking for gold. Now what does this gold over here mean? For them, anything and everything. Food that is required for survival and go up to gold. And if they will get anything, they feel it is in the big cities. So that's why they have migrated from their homes to these big cities to find gold. As a reply to the author's question that why do you do this, the boy says that he has nothing else to do. She advises him that he should go to school. She herself realizes that her advice is so hollow, and the boy also replies that there is no school in his neighborhood and so he cannot go to school. She makes him a false promise. She asks him that if I open a school, would you come? He says that yes, he would definitely like to come to the school. After a few days, he comes over and he asks her that when is the school opening? Is it ready? And the author feels very ashamed that she had made a false promise to him. She just said like this in a lighter sense that she is opening a school, but whereas there was nothing of that sort. The boy's life is full of such false promises. He has many such unfulfilled dreams. When the author comes to know that his name is Sahib-e-Alam, which means the Lord of the Universe, she feels it is so inappropriate for him. It is very unsuitable for the rag picker boy. And she wonders that does he know what is the meaning of his name? She feels that if he also knows that does his name mean, he will also feel that it is very inappropriate, very different from what his life actually is. She just sees him roaming around with a group of boys who are also rag pickers. They all are mostly bare feet. They do not have any footwear to wear, and some of them are wearing torn footwear where they probably must have got from the garbage heaps which they scourge. One day, the author questions one of the boys and she asks him, "Why are you not wearing any chappals?" So the boy simply replies that his mother did not give them from the shelf and so he could not wear them. One other boy says that even if his mother would have given him the chappals, he wouldn't have worn them because he does not like to wear anything in his feet and he likes to be barefoot. Some of the children are wearing torn shoes, so the author thinks that probably they have found them from the garbage dumps. She sees that some of the boys are eager, that they also want to wear shoes, they want to own a pair of shoes, but they cannot find any shoes. Another boy tells the author that it is a tradition in his family to remain barefoot, and she is wondering whether it is actually a tradition or he is just trying to hide the unending poverty which has gripped his family. So he is making an excuse that it is a tradition not to wear any footwear, but actually the author feels that he is incapable of buying, his family is incapable of having those resources to buy them any footwear. She is reminded of the story of a boy, a young boy who was the son of a temple priest. On his way to his school, he would stop in front of the temple and he would pray that he would get a pair of shoes. When the author visits the temple after 30 years, she goes to the house of the priest, and what she sees is that a young boy is wearing a school uniform, socks and shoes. And so she realizes that the standard of living of some people has raised. It has improved over the period of time. Now those children have shoes, their families can afford those things for them, which earlier they could not buy them. And then she is reminded of the prayer which is made by another boy who again goes to the temple, and he prays that he should not lose the pair of shoes which he has got now. The rag picker boy and his family, they have migrated from Bangladesh. They are living in Delhi in an area which is called Simapuri. It was mere wilderness. It had no amenities, no facilities for people to live in. There is no sewage, no water supply, and as many as 10,000 people whose livelihood is rag picking, they have been living there for more than 30 years. So it has become like a colony for them, but it is not appropriate for people to live over there. Although these people have been living there for the past 30 years, they do not have any identity for themselves. They live there without any permits. They only have ration cards. These ration cards give them their name on the voter list, so they do vote, and they enable them to buy grains for themselves at a lower price. For these people, the mothers of these children, food is more important for survival than an identity. They do not need any identity card as long as they are getting food for their families. For them, they are satisfied if their children sleep peacefully without aching stomachs. So if their stomachs are full of food, they will not have any pain and they can sleep peacefully in the night. So this is more contentment, more satisfying for them than having any identity card also. For the elders, the only way of getting food and shelter for their family is the garbage dump, where they scurry all through the day to find gold, that is anything which is precious, which is helpful for them. Wherever they find food, wherever they get any means to give food to their children, they just stay there, pitch their tents. These places become home for them. And for them in Simapuri, where they are living right now, the means of survival is rag picking. For their children, these dumps of garbage, these rags are more than means of survival. They are the means of providing them wrapped wonders. The garbage dumps provide them something more than mere food and shelter. Sometimes they find a rupee, any coin, or maybe torn shoes. But these things are wonders for them because they are beyond their food and shelter, their basics. One fine day, the author finds that the boy Sahib is standing outside a tennis court and he is watching two men who are playing tennis. He tells her that he also likes the game and he is content in watching it standing outside the fence. He tells her that he does go inside the court when no one is around. The gatekeeper allows him to go inside and he takes the swings over there. The author sees that he is wearing tennis shoes which look strange over his dirty clothes. Probably he has found them from some garbage dump. He says that someone has given them to him in a manner of explanation. So he also feels that the author must be wondering that from where he has got these shoes. So he himself says that someone has given them to him. But the author feels that he must have found them from some garbage dumps, as she feels that a boy from a good family must have thrown them away as one foot of the shoe is torn. Another morning, she finds that the boy Sahib-e-Alam is on his way to the milk booth. He is holding a steel can in his hand. He tells the author that now he has got a job at a tea stall, so now he will be working at a tea stall. He tells her that they will pay him money and he will get all the meals to eat. She asks him that does he likes the job, and his face, which used to be carefree when he was a rag picker, it gets grim and it gets very serious. He has lost his carefree look because now he has become an employee. He has gone into someone else's hands. The canister which he is holding it belongs to the tea stall owner. So now this boy who is working at the tea stall, he is no longer his own master. So his carefree look has gone away.